This changes everything for the Toronto Maple Leafs as we have multiple injury updates, multiple line changes, and Austin Matthews, a huge revelation on that front. We're going to write down exactly what the updates are and discuss what this means going forward as it changes the landscape of the next few weeks for the Leafs. Stay tuned for all that this episode. But before we get into a quick reminder, hit that subscribe button. If you're part of the 70% who aren't subscribed to the channel, this is the place to be for daily Leafs content. So if you're enjoying the daily content, make sure to hit that subscribe button. And we will be live tonight following the game for a post-game stream. So make sure to tune into that as well. But Darius, there's a lot to go over today. And again, the Leafs play tonight. We're going to be streaming and we're going to be seeing Austin Matthews return. A very shocking turn of events here. We're talking about how he's going to potentially miss weeks, miss until the playoffs, all these different things. And then out of nowhere, Austin Matthews confirms that he's returning to the Leafs lineup tonight. The last couple of skates I've had felt good. So he's felt very weird way to word that, but he's played, he's been skating. We were concerned about whether or not he'd be able to actually make his debut here. And he is set to make his return, I guess not debut, but his debut from this injury tonight. And in very surprising fashion, he's smiling, he's leading the stretches, everything looks good. I'm still a little bit concerned about how much his injury is fully clear because he said he's felt good. He didn't say he feels 100% or that everything's cleared, and we know he came out a few days ago, which we'll dive into later, and basically said that I don't know if he's ever going to be 100% this season, but he is returning nonetheless, and the Leafs desperately need it as they're making a push to continue to hold that number one spot in the Atlantic.
Well, that's exactly where I was going to go with this. He's returning and he's feeling good, but how good is feeling good, right? Like, is he 100% or is he feeling good enough just to get back in the lineup? That we will find out and see how he plays tonight. It was sounding like it was more of a mobility issue and something that he might not actually get over this season. And that could still be true, right? This is something that he might have to manage throughout the rest of the season. And maybe he's just good enough to play until the offseason when he can have something done on it. So we'll have to keep tabs on that. And we'll just see how he plays tonight, right? Maybe it is behind him, or maybe, it's not bothering him as much and he can play through it and he can play effective minutes. So, Austin Matthews at 70% is better than a lot of guys at 100%. So I think the Leafs are going to take that bet. So it's exciting at the end of the day. There is still some concern, I think, for Leaf fans, for, myself personally looking at this. I think that, I really have to see how he plays, especially against a team like Boston. So we'll have to see how he plays tonight. And not just that, he's playing tomorrow. He said he's playing both games, right? So this is not a situation where he's going to feel it out tonight, and if he's not feeling good, okay, he's going to sit out again. He said he's playing today, and tomorrow he feels good enough. So pretty interesting because it was sounding like it was more of a mobility thing, and he's not, a lot of discomfort there. So we'll see how he plays, and maybe it turns into a load management thing. We'll see how that plays out, but a lot of it rides on, how he looks tonight.
And obviously, we know when he returned, he was looking okay, and then he got cross-checked from behind, and it re-aggravated the injury. Now, the hope is that, again, he was playing both days, so he's playing tonight and tomorrow, and it's kind of crazy, or the next game, and it's kind of crazy that the Boston Bruins, that's his return tonight against a rival, against a very physical team as well. So interested to see if Ryan Reeves is in the lineup tonight, which we'll dive into later in this video as well. But he said it's no fun watching, and the biggest worry now for, I'm sure, a lot of Leafs fans, and let us know down below if you're happy about, obviously everyone's happy about his return, but if you think that they should have played it, we don't really know how bad the injury is or was. He's taking regular line rushes and power play 1 reps this morning, so everything is a full go here, and I don't think he's going to be limited in, ice time when he's back. He's playing both games. He's going to continue to play, but it is a little bit concerning. But Berube spoke out on Matthews and said he's our captain. He's a great player. We all know that. He just drives the pace of play. Extremely hard worker. Plays 200 feet. Berube said he likes the look of Nyes, Matthews, Marner line. They've had success together before, which we'll dive into later. But Nyes is also back on the top line now, which has a bunch of implications regarding the rest of the lines and how Nyes, because he's been quiet since Matthews has went out. But I think Leafs fans are just a little bit pessimistic about how Austin Matthews has, how all these injuries have been handled this season. That being said, I'm going to take the optimistic route. If he's good to go, we're going to see tonight how he plays. Obviously, I'm not going to judge anything on tonight's game. It's his first game in a while, but if they say he's good to go, if he feels he's good to go, realistically, 60% Austin Matthews is better than most players in the NHL anyways.
Yeah, he is, right? So we're going to have to see how he plays tonight. And they wouldn't throw him in the lineup if he was limping around or anything like that, or he couldn't bend over, right? If it's a back issue. So the fact that he is getting into the lineup and they are clearing him makes me believe that he's at least close to 100%. Is he actually 100%? I really don't think so because of the language that's been used and the way everything's been handled so far this season. Although we got signs that he might be returning. He flew with the team when they were playing the New York Islanders the other day and skated that morning by himself, right? So he flew and he was skating. He was on the ice. So clearly, if it was something that was going to, threaten his season, or if he was going to get surgery, which we know is out of the question, but a lot of people keep bringing up, I don't think he would be flying, and I don't think he'd be he's skating either. So I think they would want to get that done as soon as possible instead of prolonging it, right? Like get him back as soon as possible. So I think that's out of the question. So hopefully he is, close to 100%, or at least it's something he can manage till the end of the season and still put together some good minutes because they're going to need him, right? It was looking a little bit scary there the last couple of weeks when you look at the lineup and that they have to trade for a center still. Yes, they could probably use this 13 million if he was on LTIR, but he is back. So, that changes the dynamic of the team a lot.
Yeah, and you think about how Craig Berube, we've been talking about the boring style of hockey or the less, engaged when it comes to tons of goals, all these different things. The offense has definitely taken a step back over the past few games, especially since Austin Matthews has gone out, and he kind of spoke out on knowing how and when he was ready to return to the lineup. I felt good over the last couple of skates. It's been positive progress, and my confidence has grown day by day, and that's what matters the most. And you mentioned it. He flew with the team. Once that happened, we assumed he was at least going to make progress towards a return. Prior to that, we weren't entirely sure, and now he is ready to go, and I'm excited. I'm excited to see him play tonight, and if he goes out and hopefully now he's actually 100% healthy because he's had a ton of time off now this season, hasn't played a ton of games, and now if he can come out and go back to the Austin Matthews we're used to, or even just continue to play solid hockey, it's something that we want to see. And general manager of Team USA initially reached out to Austin Matthews early this season, but hasn't followed up since. There isn't any urgency at the moment as the event isn't until mid-February. That's from Pierre LeBrun surrounding, of course, the Cup, the NHL Cup there. But here's the thing. The Four Nations Cup, of course. Let us know down below if you want him to play in that. I'm kind of curious to see what most fans are, because I see some fans saying they want him to play in the Four Nations Cup, some fans saying take it easy. I think he's ultimately going to play, especially if he's back at the NHL level. But Darius, these are the lines now, and a bit more familiar to what we've been seeing most of the year. Obviously, the top line with Nyes, Matthews, Marner, Pacioretty, Tavares, Nylander, a very good second line. McMahon, Domi, Robertson is also now a very good third line with how well Bobby McMahon has been playing, one of the best 5-on-5 players, not only on the Leafs, but in the entire NHL this season. And then Steven Lorentz, David Kampf, Connor Dewar. I think this is the line up that most Leafs fans envisioned, assuming everybody was playing really well, because you now have Kampf and Connor Dewar. Of course, they're all healthy, and this is the first time in a while we're seeing a fully healthy Toronto Maple Leafs team, bearing a couple of guys, of course.
Yeah, I still don't like the first line dynamic with Matthews and Marner. We've talked about it a lot on the channel, but this is the definitive best lineup for the Toronto Maple Leafs right now if everyone is healthy. Like, make no mistake about it. Just because I don't like the first line or the dynamic of it doesn't mean that, the rest of the team has to suffer. Like, that second line when they've been together this year has been great. The third line the last month or so has been fantastic. The fourth line, Reeves has some use, and the fact that it looks like he might not play tonight, I think is incredibly interesting considering Matthews' first game back. Everybody knows that he's coming back from injury, and it's against the Bruins, so I think that's a very interesting choice. But that fourth line brings a lot of skill as well as speed, and obviously Lorentz has brought his game lately, and the defense core has been doing their thing as well. So I think this is absolutely the definitive lineup, although I would, for this game in particular, have Ryan Reeves in the lineup.
Yeah, I think they just want to see how that fourth line works. And also, Philip Myers, newly extended, is back in the lineup again. And Connor Timmins, healthy scratch once again as he continues to struggle over the past, really, month or so after his hot start to the season. But that'll wrap it up. Let us know down below what your thoughts are on this. Matthews is back in a bit of a surprising fashion, and hopefully things go well tonight and they can take care of business against the Boston Bruins. Thank you guys for watching. See you later.